From Mississippi, the hospitality state, it's Tea Party Patriots Citizens Fund Live. With your host, Matt Boyle from Breitbart.com.
ZZ Top playing in the background. I'm Kevin Broughton with the Tea Party Patriots Citizens Fund. Happy to be hosting this live stream with Breitbart News in the person of Matt Boyle, the hardest working journalist in all of Mississippi, even though he's not from here. And we've got some results coming in, Matt. 45% reporting. Thad Cochran with about a 5-point lead, but there's a lot of big McDaniel counties with 0 boxes reporting.
Right,
in.
well, there's just a few numbers in from DeSoto County. About 17% are in from there, and McDaniel has a blowout lead there, so we'll look to see. Last time, I think he had, a 10,000 to 5,000 vote differential in DeSoto.
He
somewhere around there. I'll have to check on
yeah.
the exact numbers. But then, in addition to that, Jones County, which is just a bomb for McDaniel. Last time he had about 85% of Jones County. The free state of Jones County,
yes,
right?
Sir, the free state of Jones.
Right,
yeah.
And so Jones County is still not in yet, so this looks like it's going to go neck and neck, down to the wire, just like it did last time. So we're in for a wild ride for the next few hours, and it's not going to be an early night, so people make sure stay tuned to this webcast.
Yeah.
We're going to be staying here all night until it's final, and hopefully no recounts.
Right, no recount. We know there can't be a runoff.
There can't be a runoff.
It's going to end one way or another here tonight.
I think so. And
you look at the counties that have come in. Hinds County looks to be a big win for Senator Cochran, maybe by a larger margin than last time. Hinds County is probably 70% Democrat, and so maybe some of that outreach is working, some of that unconventional outreach is working for Senator Cochran.
Right, and then also I've heard that there's some other counties out in the Mississippi Delta that are usually traditionally Democrat voters and largely black communities out there. Coahoma County, for instance, much higher turnout than last time. So again, we're just going to have to wait and see as these results keep trickling in. But right now, Senator Cochran has the lead. He, he's up about 53 to 47, give or take 0.5%.
Yeah, five or so points, the lead right now. But again, we saw 3 weeks ago, Senator Cochran had a 2 to 3 to whatever percentage point lead until about 10:30 at night.
Well, when there was 80% or something in, Cochran was up 4%, and then Jones County came in, boom, McDaniel's up 4 at that point. So again, people, this is Mississippi politics. Do not write this off anytime soon. This thing's going down to the wire, especially because these pro-McDaniel counties are not in yet, and so we're waiting for those numbers to come in. The Pine Belt has not come in yet. In the Pine Belt, that's where we are right now at McDaniel headquarters, is, we'll see how big the turnout is for McDaniel down here.
Yeah, you wonder about what the metric is. We talked about this in our opening segment, but there are 5 sort of must-have counties in Mississippi: DeSoto, Madison, Rankin, Lauderdale, Harrison, and Chris. He won by bigger margins than he was supposed to, or he kind of fought Cochran to a draw in places like Rankin County. He's maybe going to have to pull a few more voters in some of those big counties to offset what might be a surge in unconventional voter outreach.
Right, well then, in addition to that, you really have to factor into this the rural counties and how they're going to all seem to be going for McDaniel.
Yeah.
And so if McDaniel was able to increase turnout in his, strong parts in the state, and again, we won't know until these results come in, but if the free state of Jones comes in strong for McDaniel, this thing could very well go his way, or it could very well go Cochran's way. Again, right now, Cochran has the lead, and we're waiting on more results to come in.
Yeah, it's kind of to use a football metaphor, Jones County was what sort of flipped the field position last 3 weeks ago.
It's a forced turnover.
Right. Yeah, you don't want no unforced errors when you do this deal. But
the crowd is going wild here. We'll see what's happening.
Maybe have some results coming in or something like that. We'll step away here in just a few minutes and see if we can see what some of this excitement is about. But you've interviewed a couple of folks, a young Tea Party activist in Jeremiah Body, Senator Tony Smith, one of the band of brothers and sisters in the Senate. What's your general? You've been here for a couple of months now. What are you going to take away from your time in Mississippi, generally speaking?
Well, one of the things, I said this before, but I'll elaborate on it again, is basically the people in Mississippi are fighters. Like, you know, they're not going to sit here and let Washington. They're not going to sit here and let Washington take away their rights and take away their liberties. And you know, they've seen what's been happening with the status quo in Washington. That in this case, Senator Cochran, and in other cases, whoever else it might be in the Republican establishment or the Democrat establishment. And these guys are, you know, true grassroots fighters, true populists.
Yeah.
There's a streak of populism that runs through this state that I haven't seen anywhere else. You know, I've spent some time in Texas, and I love the people in Texas. Yeah. But I'll tell you this, Texas populism has nothing on Mississippi.
Well, I'll tell you what, when Senator McDaniel comes to power and we take over the apparatus of the state government, I'm going to nominate you for honorary statehood right here in the sovereign state of Mississippi.
I may just move down here. We'll see. I love it here. Let's put it that way.
It is the hospitality state, and we'd be glad to welcome you. We're going to step away here in a second and try and gather some more election results, maybe get some of these stray counties to come across with some results, and we'll see what all the carrying on and shouting was about downstairs on the ground floor. So keep it right here on this live stream brought to you by the Tea Party Patriots Citizens Fund and Breitbart News. We're co-hosting this live stream tonight with Breitbart News. Matt Boyle has stepped away for a moment. We're dancing in the streets to the strains of Van Halen here at McDaniel headquarters. You know, the Tea Party Patriots Citizens Fund has been really, really active on the ground the last couple of weeks and the month leading up to this election, both primary and runoff. Let's take a couple of minutes and see some of what's been going on here in Mississippi.
We're just citizens, we're normal folks, and we're knocking on doors, talking to other normal folks and saying, hey, let's rally around the conservative in the race.
Can I count on your vote for Chris? Yes.
3 votes in that house, all voting for McDaniel.
Thanks to you and the tireless efforts of thousands of Tea Party Patriot Citizens Fund volunteers, Chris McDaniel forced a runoff against Thad Cochran in Mississippi's GOP primary. Now, our day has come. The day Mississippi can send a true conservative to Congress, Chris McDaniel. But we need your help. Thad Cochran is relying on his cronies in Washington and the GOP establishment to save him. We're relying on you to carry Chris McDaniel to victory this Tuesday night in Mississippi's GOP primary runoff election.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You swayed me. I was leaning toward this because I knew you supported the Tea Party. If you'd like to put a sign in my yard, that will be okay.
Cochran has been there too long. Time for a change. It's a common theme that we're hearing.
We, for many years, supported Thad Cochran. And we've just been real concerned over the last few years that there's just been a complete deviation from what our core principles are. And if we just don't draw a line in the sand and take a stand today, then things are just going to get worse.
Please donate now. There simply isn't a moment to waste. Help us make this final push. Help us reach our fundraising goal. Help Chris McDaniel win this primary runoff and retire Thad Cochran after 42 long years. Don't wake up disappointed Wednesday morning, knowing you could have changed the outcome.
Tea Party Patriots Citizens Fund has been on the ground in Mississippi for the last 2 months. Because of you, we're making an impact. In the last week alone, we've knocked on over 30,000 doors. We've made tens of thousands of phone calls. People in Mississippi are excited about this election. Now it's time to get the work done and finish the job in the last 24 hours. We need your help one more time. Donate now so we can get Chris McDaniel over the top to victory on Tuesday night.
Welcome back to Hattiesburg. That's just a small taste of what the Tea Party Patriot Citizens Fund has been doing for about 5 or so weeks in Mississippi, if you count pre-primary and pre-runoff. And you probably noticed a guy wearing a Desert BDU pattern boonie hat. He's seated to my left now, Staff Sergeant retired Greg Cummings from the sovereign state of Iowa. Glad to have you here, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let's just run, I got to get this out of the way, being a former Army guy myself. Airborne, Ranger, Jump Master, Air Assault,
yes,
and looks like an expert marksman too.
Yes, sir.
Outstanding. And how many years did you do in the United States Army?
13 years.
And a Desert Storm veteran.
Yes, sir, and an Army Ranger.
We certainly appreciate that. Greg, I mean, my gosh, you've heard these out-of-state people disparaged by the establishment folks here. As a Mississippian myself, I'm glad you're here. What inspired you to get involved in the Tea Party movement?
Well, it's we the people. You know, our motto of our country is E pluribus unum. That's from the many one.
Yeah.
And for a long time, we've forgotten what that means.
Right.
And that means we the people has got to stay engaged in our government, in the republic, or we're going to lose it.
Yeah. You spent time all over the country doing grassroots stuff for the Tea Party Patriots. I'm just curious, as a Mississippian myself, what's your overall impression of the Magnolia State? How have you been received by the folks on the ground here?
Oh my God, the Southern hospitality here is just wonderful. There's a lot of THAD supporters out there, but by far, every door that we've knocked on, which is anywhere from 4,000 to 6,000 doors a day,
yeah.
I'd say it's 6 to 1 people in favor for Chris.
Yeah, and I'm guessing even the THAD folks haven't turned the dogs loose on you or anything like that, or pulled out the shotgun or anything.
No, there's very few doors being slammed in our face and
right.
that kind of thing. They're very polite. They're saying no, we're not voting for them, versus the many that saying thank God you guys are here.
Yeah.
Yes, Chris is our man.
Yeah. If you can remember, tell folks where around the state you've been. I mean, obviously you've been in the Jackson area here lately. I mean, have you seen other parts of the state while you were here?
Oh yes, at the very beginning during the primary, the initial, I was in Pascagoula and Gaucher, Gulfport areas down there, and it was a big success.
Yeah, great. We keep hearing war whoops coming from downstairs. Hard to tell exactly what they are. Just before we came back for this segment, we got some updated numbers with 67% reporting. Thad Cochran was at 52.4 with 47.6% for Senator Chris McDaniel. Important to keep in mind, only 38% of the boxes are counted from DeSoto County up in the Memphis suburbs, and nothing from Jones County, aka the Free State of Jones, which is what put Chris McDaniel over the top 3 weeks ago tonight. So we'll get back to that in just a second. Greg, just some final thoughts on what you think this race means, not just in the state of Mississippi, but in the country in terms of the sort of the media narrative of establishment versus Tea Party folks.
Sure, and people say that Tea Party's dead, and I agree with the sentiment saying if the Tea Party's dead, then that means we the people are dead.
Yeah.
Well, we are by far dead. We are very much alive. The Tea Party movement is continuing to grow, and this particular race is going to add to what just happened on the Northeast coast, and some people are really going to start waking up. The people that have been our naysayers, such as the media, such as the establishment GOP, where they're finally going to get it that we the people are doing something.
Yeah, I think folks out there, if I could just creep up to the line of acceptable decorum, people are pissed. They are pissed at the direction their country is headed in, and I think that's what sort of kicked this whole movement off.
Well, that's exactly why the Tea Party Patriots is now the largest conservative organization in the country, is because more and more people are waking up. They're wanting to get involved. They want to know how to get engaged. So we need to do what we can to tell our family members, our neighbors, and everybody that we can what they need to do to stay engaged to save this republic. It's when we sit back and not worry about politics is when government grows.
You seem optimistic.
Yes, sir, very much.
Outstanding, outstanding. Can't thank you enough for being here. Greg Cummings from the Free State of Iowa, here helping us in Mississippi try and elect a pro-freedom U.S. Senator in Chris McDaniel. We're going to step away for just a few minutes. Maybe we'll get another Blues Brothers song blaring. I got to tell you, I like the music selection so far. But we're going to come back and try and break down some of these election results in our next segment up. This is the live stream co-sponsored by the Tea Party Patriots Citizens Fund and Breitbart News. Stick around, we'll be right back.